You are live.
Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. It's a busy Wednesday. We got you covered. Sometimes life happens, and we hope Jesse is okay. Jesse's been in a little bit of a motorbike accident. So we were going to have Jesse, but Jesse is not going to make it. He is okay, but his arm is bleeding quite profusely, Dan.
We actually are not positive whether it is a motorbike accident or a dog accident because he said motorbike meets dog. So I don't know if this
dog
is a
jumped out in front of him.
I don't know if this is a motorbike dog hybrid. If they're doing things overseas that we not have quite gotten to, but regardless, the point still stands, Andy. Is that no Jesse on the show. So who are we going to fade? Andy and I will find some teams for you to fade. Don't worry. We're also going to get you a little play of the day action. Andy will take you all around the world. And Skee Profit, star of Profit Picks right here on WagerTalk TV. He will be with us. He's going to be breaking down the two NBA playoff games, or postseason games that are NBA play-in games in the play-in tournament. Orlando Magic, Philadelphia 76ers. Do my Sixers stand a chance even though they're 2-point favorites? We'll talk about that. And then, Andy, could the NBA be more happy about the fact that they get Golden State taking on Los Angeles, like two California teams? The only way that this could have been better if it was the Los Angeles Lakers versus the LA Clippers for a play-in game as far as a little sizzle is concerned.
Well, like LeBron versus Kawhi, but you're still getting Steph versus Kawhi.
Exactly.
And let's be honest, this is probably the last hurrah for all three of these guys. I mean,
you're probably right, honestly.
LeBron, who knows if he's going to play one more year maybe, and Steph in the situation with the Warriors, that Jimmy Butler tears the ACL, he's gone. And they're all in the West. They get to deal with Wemby for the rest of their careers. They get to deal with SGA for the rest of their careers, and Jokic for the rest of their careers. Like
they're just like, please just take me. Just old yeller me. Please just take me out back. Let me go out to pasture. Let me look at the rabbits like I'm Lenny from Of Mice and Men, and we'll just all move on.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can talk more about that, but since we don't have Jesse, I will tell you, Jesse, he comes on and he fades teams, and he was going to fade the Mariners and the Astros, and I got to tell you, the Mariners were already on my list of teams to fade, and it really just comes down to this buzzsaw that they're facing in the San Diego Padres. We're going to show you the stats. Stats don't lie, man. These guys are 9-1 on the run line, and the Mariners are really bad on the road. They have one win on the road. They got pieced up yesterday, 4-1. I did the show, the prop line. That is up right now, and there's another way you can attack this. Randy Vasquez, over 16.5 outs. He's gone 18. Yeah, he's gone 18, 18, and 17 outs this season. Mariners 1-6 on the road. They don't score runs. And yesterday, King went 18 outs on only 85 pitches. So you can get deep into games without throwing a big pitch count. And here are the run totals the Mariners have in their away games. They scored 1 yesterday. They scored 0, 2, and 1 against Texas. They had an 8-7 loss against the Angels, then 0, and then they won 3-1 in extra innings. They scored 1 run in 9 innings. They scored their 2 runs in the 10th. So this is a team that's just absolutely desolate on the road with the bats. So then they get this Padres team that is just humming right along. So yeah, it's a fade spot. I've not looked too much into the Astros. So if any of you in the chat have any thoughts on the Astros, I'd be more than willing to hear your argument for that one. So those are the teams that Jesse was going to be fading.
Andy, and with the Padres too, you mentioned Randy Vasquez there. Before we were officially calling it, our Wager Talk Today play of the day. One of the plays that we liked the last outing for Vasquez was him to his earned runs under. We cashed that in. We liked him to record the decision. We ended up cashing that one in as well. And the strikeouts, those haven't quite been there as much. I mean, if you just look at the runs that he is allowing, Andy, to your point, Vasquez, 2 runs over 17 and 2/3 inning, no decision in that 7-3 win. But the 12-inning win Thursday night against Colorado, scattered 7 hits. So he is allowing a little bit of hits over 5 and 2/3, but the support behind him, just 1 run. And he did get 8 strikeouts in that outing. So this is certainly their best pitching option. So you have a buzzsaw of a hitting lineup and a strong, pitching option here. I like Vasquez a lot, and I'm looking for Vasquez props just to continue cashing for us. It's one of those that you keep going back to the well when we talk about player props. And Randy Vasquez is a guy who I'm going back to the well. I'm going to look at those earned runs under again on him.
Nice. Yeah, I love it. There's some bad offenses right now. So let's do our play of the day. All
right.
Hakeem Profit's going to join us, and he said he's on his way. So let's just go to the play of the day. So far 0-2 this week. Got to get off the schneid here because right now we're running the reverse ladder.
Hey, well, for those folks who love fading us, Andy, they got to be happy people here through 2 plays. But don't forget our WTF and LFG. When I would come on with a play and you would say, "Hey, are we following or fading this one?" It started off 0-3, and then we went on an absolute tear. So let's turn this around, and we're looking towards where you are the most comfortable. Let's look at this over earned Ks here for our man Clay Holmes. What are we looking at here?
So we'll get to the Mets and their offense, but I think everyone's looking at a pitcher in this game, and it's not Clay Holmes. It's Ohtani. He's got all the talk, and for good reason. He's going after the Cy Young. It's pretty much what he hasn't he blocked. I feel like every day Blocked watches the show, but doesn't really watch the show because he's always checking in to see what the play is. We're literally
Randy Vasquez earned runs over or under, excuse me. And now we're breaking down what the play of the day is for you, Block. Don't worry. We'll speak slowly for you, my friend.
Yes. So Clay Holmes, pitcher for the Mets, facing the Dodgers here. All right. We've got 3, 4, and 5 strikeouts in Clay Holmes' last 3 starts. So not a buzzsaw. He's not going to mow down an entire lineup. But the Dodgers are striking out a lot. 11 strikeouts average in the last 3 games. So they are striking out quite a bit. And this guy's averaging 87 pitches. He's gone 16 or more outs into this game. So he's going up against the team that, yes, their offense is good, but they are striking out a little bit feast or famine right now. So you got a pitcher that I know is as long as he doesn't get shelled early, he's probably going to go 85 to 90 pitches. He's probably going to go 16 or more outs into the game, and he's going up against a team that's striking out 11 times per game the last 3. I think this number is a little bit too low. I think we're getting a discount because Clay Holmes not known for his strikeouts, but when you get a good matchup, I think you jump on it.
Love it.
All right. Skee Profit has joined us. He's in the house, and we got to talk NBA playoffs. First off, Skee, thank you for jumping on. Appreciate you. Happy Wednesday. How are you?
I'm doing good. Anytime. Appreciate you guys having me on. I did want to mention something, though, before we start on NBA. Last week we talked about the W and talked about the Atlanta Dream and Angel Reese. Everything still stands what I said about that team. They're a really good team. But it's a lot of moves that are, impressive and, make it seem like it's going to be a really competitive year. You just had Kennedy Carter get signed to the Aces. She's been out the league for a little bit, but she's a bona fide bucket. And that's a team that can already score, with the best. We all know how great the Aces are. So seeing her go there makes me excited. Satu Sabali going to the Liberty. The rich get richer. I mean, this WNBA season is going to be really exciting. I'm just reminding everybody that, like I'm telling you, all these players moving around, the odds makers are not going to know how to price these games the right way to start the season. So be ready to take advantage.
I can't believe they got Angel Reese. I really can't believe they got Angel Reese. I know they gave up a couple of. I think is it 2 firsts or was it a first and a second? Whatever it was, that team's going to be good. It's not going to be a great draft pick, anyways. And Angel Reese is going to be there for quite a while. I thought that was a steal. I thought it was a steal of a trade.
I also want to mention too, I think it's pretty messed up that, this guy didn't want to get anybody while Angel Reese was there. As soon as Angel Reese leaves, they go get the Avengers. They got a team full of, it's a really solid team over there in Chicago now. So I don't know. Interesting season coming up.
Yeah. I feel like my reads are going to be spot on or really wrong to start the season. Like I feel like you're going to have to take some strong stances to start the season, and it's going to be feast or famine. But knowing you, it's going to be feast. So I can't wait for it to get started. Do you know when it starts? Do you know when tip off first day is?
I want to say like a month from now.
All right, I will look that up. But let's talk about WNBA. So just like preseason starts April 25th. So yeah, you're right. First game is going to be May 9th, May 8th. May 8th is first season. So got a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and all of a sudden it's here. So what'd you make of the games last night, Skee? Thought they were really, really good. Amazon Prime having technical difficulties right as the game is matching up about blew my mind. Crazy with Bam Adebayo. So what'd you make out of those 2 games last night?
Well, the Bam thing and LaMelo thing, I feel like, that's happened before. So I don't know. It might be something between those two. Initially, when I saw it, I didn't think anything of it, but you never know. When you see it happening multiple times, you might have to take a look at that. But it was a good game. Anytime you can get overtime and meaningful basketball, I'm all for it. And I wasn't surprised to see the Hornets win. The other game, it went as I expected. I mean, that's the game I cashed a ticket in. I had the Suns team total under 110.5. It barely got there, but it got there. And I chose between that and the Blazers. So I would have been kicking myself if the Blazers won and the team total under didn't hit. But I enjoyed the games, and hopefully we'll have some more good ones tonight.
Ross was on the show yesterday. He and I both said Trailblazers outright. I like that team. I think they're frisky. I mean, they make it into the playoffs. They will get waxed, but I kind of enjoy some of their pieces. So I love Klingon. I think he's great. I kind of like the Scoot renaissance here a little bit. Of course, he goes full Scoot mode and has 2 fouls in less than 2 minutes and has to go to the bench. It's like,
they got the Spurs next, so they have their hands full.
Yeah. Well, let's break down these games tonight. Let's start in the Eastern Conference. You got the Magic, and you got Dan's 76ers here. Philly, really slight favorite. Gosh, these are 2 tough teams to figure out at this point. But what do you make of this game?
I'll take this time to shout out the show that I do with Rob Vino at about 10:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time called Profit Picks. And I'm doing that because he mentioned this to me yesterday, I believe it was. He said, remember, Skee, when you were talking about Paolo doesn't like the coach? And I was just watching the game and watching them interact on the sidelines. And, we're hearing some more stuff come out about a star player is saying that he's going to demand a trade if the coach is not fired at the end of the season. I see the way the Magic team looked in that last game versus Boston when Boston didn't play anybody. This is not a Magic team that I want to back. On the other side, you're going to have the best player on the court, in my mind, with Tyrese Maxey. And you still got, a solid team, even though Embiid is not out there. So Sixers have been good as home favorites. I think they only lost 1 game post All-Star. I think they go out there and get the job done today. I think they'll show that they care a lot more than the Magic. The Magic might go out there and just flip the bird to their coach tonight and lay down. I mean, they could play. And, I'm not putting my money on it. That team has been so inconsistent for the back half of the season. They've been a disappointment compared to what we thought they were supposed to be in the beginning of the season, or at least what I thought. I think the Sixers are the right side here. I bet the Sixers.
Yeah, it's tough when you got like when they're just openly can't stand the coach. That's not good going into the playoffs. So I have to agree that's probably the right side, even without Joel Embiid, or maybe not having Embiid secretly helps Philly a little bit. I'm not in that camp because the guy is a good bucket. But let's move to the Western Conference. Warriors, Kawhi. Dan and I were just talking about that. Kind of the last hurrah here for Steph and Kawhi and LeBron here. Clippers minus 5.5 over under 221.5. What do you make of this game?
Yeah, I don't really trust. I mean, these are two teams I really don't trust, honestly. It's hard for me to get there with either one. My initial thought was the Clippers keep saying, they want to play faster with Garland, but it just hasn't been translated. Like they're bottom 10 in pace over, post All-Star. And if you look at the last 10 games, I mean, they're still in the bottom half. The Warriors are not really playing with pace either. I worry about Steph if he's still going to have a minutes limited in this game. When I'm looking at all of those things, yes, neither team has been really great defensively this year, but in a situation like this, elimination game, you're going to get the best effort on that side. And if they're playing slow, all the other things that I mentioned, I would probably go under in this game if I'm betting it.
Just tough games. Tough games tonight when you got some of the variables. I would say Philly is probably my favorite my favorite side or total in this one. So any other takes about do you have any futures that you're liking so far?
I haven't actually put them in yet, but my thought process, I'll share with you guys. I think that OKC's path is, is clear and it's easy. The price you're getting to take OKC right now, it will not be there by the time it's Western Conference Finals versus whoever they face. So I think, it's worth the wager. And when it gets to Western Conference Finals, you can figure out what you want to do with that then. On another note, the Spurs and the Nuggets are going to have to face each other in the second round if they both advance. So one of those getting taken out, that's also good for that first bet that I mentioned. But as good as the Spurs have been, the Nuggets have been their kryptonite. I mean, I know they lost the last 3 versus the Nuggets, and we know how experienced the Nuggets are. They're healthy. They absolutely can win the West. So Nuggets have a really good price. Those are I'm trying to decide which route I want to take. So the West, that's kind of how I feel. The East, honestly, I have a ticket in my pocket already from preseason, and I don't feel like it's great. It's the Knicks plus 3 something to win the East. The talent on the roster, I thought they really have a chance, and they could, but who I see playing the best basketball, who I think actually is going to come out, it would have to be the Celtics. I mean, healthy, playing really good. They're going to have home court for the most part. I don't think I can trust the Pistons because as much as I love Cade Cunningham, he just came back from that lung injury. You never know how that's going to bother him. And it's still a team full of not so experienced players in the playoffs. So could take a little bit of growing pains, similar to what we saw for OKC before they actually, make some real noise. So that's how I'm feeling about it right now, at least. I'll make my decisions pretty soon.
All right. Well, Blocked was wanting to get your take on the series prices, and man, are they as chalky as it gets. Cleveland minus
Usually
550. Yeah. Cleveland minus 550 against the Raptors, Nuggets minus 350 against the Wolves, Knicks minus 275 against the Hawks, Rockets minus 600 against your Lakers, and the Spurs minus 2,000 against the Blazers. I mean, do we see any upsets here?
If I had to pick one, I mean, I just said I don't feel great about the ticket I have in my pocket, right? I mean, yes, the Knicks can absolutely win. When I look at the roster, they have the better talent than Atlanta, but Atlanta has been playing the better basketball. Ever since the All-Star break. They have a really deep team now, and they're playing good together. So I wouldn't want to count them out. I think the price for the Knicks is too pricey. It should be less expensive. So I think the value lies on Atlanta if I'm picking one dog there.
I think it's interesting that the Nuggets are only minus 350 against Minnesota. It feels like okay, you're title contender, but you're only minus 350 against this Timberwolves team that's kind of getting healthy. I guess it makes sense, but I don't know. I thought that was a little bit of a head scratcher.
I could be mistaken, but didn't the Timberwolves push the Nuggets to a 7-game series recently? I mean,
they just play him well. Like Ant is a nightmare for them to guard because they really don't have that perimeter defender. It's not Murray. It's not Braun. It's certainly not Cam Thomas. So he can get inside, and then it's just, Aaron Gordon and Jokic trying to deal with him. So yeah, they got some real matchup problems there. So
what are your thoughts on this? The Cavaliers, I mean, I'm not high on James Harden. I never have been. And, he's not really performed the best in the playoffs. Donovan Mitchell hasn't either. Now they have each other. And the side that they're on, as far as the bracket for the playoffs, I don't think they have to see the Knicks or the Celtics until the finals. They could absolutely make it. What do you think about their price? I'm not sure what their price is either. Or what do you think about
So,
them?
I was high on Cleveland to begin the year. I actually think Harden fits in well with this team because they don't need him to do everything. I think this has been kind of a good spot for him because he doesn't have to be the guy that scores 30. That can be Donovan Mitchell. He can be a guy that can hit some big shots. Or, oh, you need me to be assist Harden? I can do that tonight. Oh, you need me to drain 4 threes? I can be that Harden tonight. So I think weirdly it kind of works just for this series. And I am not high on Toronto at all in the slightest. I'm looking at this Cavaliers -1.5 at -210. Maybe just play it like that, maybe a parlay piece. But don't forget, at the beginning of the year, they openly said we are not taking the regular season as serious as we did last season. We were tired, we were injured, and it is all about the playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got a little bit extra in the tank because that was what they said they were going to do at the beginning of the season. And I may go down with the ship, but I like this Cavaliers team. I think they roll Toronto.
They could be worth that futures bet. That's all I'm saying. By the time they get there, you can figure out what to do with it later. But facing the Raptors and then facing, probably the Pistons, who, don't have a whole lot of experience like we talked about, Cavs could be the value play on the East.
Yeah, Pistons are 1 year away. They just don't quite. Duran's awesome. Cade is awesome. But then it's like, you're depending on Duncan Robinson and, like it's just, So, well, Skee, thank you for jumping on. Tell everyone what you have up today.
Yeah, I did give you the one play that I bet so far, but Rob Vino and myself are going to talk about the games again in about an hour on Profit Picks. We'll see if I can find some more. As far as plays I have up, I did make a 5% play in the playoffs for this weekend. So if you want to get a head start, it is up and available at WagerTalk.com. And a reminder, including the one win yesterday, going back to 2023, we're now plus 148 units in the playoffs. So it's a time of year where I usually do my best work. If you'd like to be involved, there's a lot of ways you can do so.
Skee's like the opposite of James Harden. Like he does his best work in the playoffs.
Great point.
I'll take that. I appreciate that.
Tell everyone about your show with Rob.
Yeah, 10:45, so about an hour and 20 minutes. If you want to hear, pretty like yesterday, we spent 18 to 20 minutes talking about the 2 games, and we talked about it from a lot of different angles. So if you want help with your handicap, if you want to feel, know how we're thinking more about the games, it's a good place to come get some info for your NBA action.
All right, good stuff. Skee Profit, Rob Vino, they get you there. They get you set for all the NBA games. So once we're getting all these games in one night, make sure you check out their show, and they'll get you ready for tonight. So thank you very much, Skee. Have a great Wednesday. Appreciate you for jumping on. So
later, guys.
Thanks, Skee.
Thanks. What brand is that polo blocked? Yes, it's a Chaps. It's Chaps.
Hell yeah.
And Rob says, how often can you say Harden is a good fit? This was the only time I have said James Harden is a good fit.
Yeah. I don't think there definitely hasn't been a Andy broken record for sure on that one. But when the trade was happening, you were kind of like leery of it. And then once you saw him in the first game, you were like, well, it's kind of not, he doesn't have to do everything. So you alluded towards it, but the words, I think he's a good fit, have never been uttered until this show right here.
Yes. So, well, Dan, let's go over some line movement that we have for today.
Yeah.
And since we got some extra time, I can touch on some UFC and anything else that we want to. And Dan, you can get people ready for lacrosse because we just put a 4% lacrosse play that is in. So if we're looking at any line moves, and it is too early in the day to confirm this, we've got some early games. I believe one of them starts here real soon. So we have some movement on the over in the Giants and the Reds game. Nice job. We cashed the ticket on the Reds money line yesterday. A little bit of money. This is kind of interesting. A little bit of money's coming in on the Mets, which is little surprising. You might go, okay, comeback spot for the Mets. Do they explode? But I don't know about that one.
Let's be real. The Mets have been in comeback spot for however long. And I didn't want to go toe to toe with our man Drew, but if you were listening in, I kind of alluded to the fact that hey, if I was betting that Mets game yesterday, I would have taken them on the run line, and they end up losing by 1. But let's be real, Andy, it was because of that pitching that I liked heading into that matchup of why the Mets were even able to stay alive. There was the 1-1, both teams scored in the first inning. So I just, with this Mets offense, man, the 6 runs that they had against the A's in that game 2 of that series, that was the outlier. We've seen 1 run, 0 runs, 0 runs, 0 runs, 1 run, 2 runs, and then 4 runs in their past, what would that be, 7 games outside of that 6. So, yeah, I want to make cases for the Mets, but I probably want to make cases for the Mets when McLean is on the bump. That's just how I look at it.
We see this every year in baseball. You can do all the
the money line parlay.
No, we see this every season with MLB. These teams that look great before the season and injuries catch up, and all of a sudden it's just not the same team. This is just not the same Mets team. So definitely money coming in on Baltimore. That thing is started out at -150. We're now down to -124 in some spots. And surprise, over money has come in on the Padres and the Mariners that we just kind of talked about. Moved from 7 to 8. Yeah, so I think they're
here's the way that I would attack that, Andy. Yeah, exactly. And I think the way that I would attack that, I mean, maybe you go first 5 under, or you hold off and wait for maybe some solid pitching out of the gate and then rock in on the over there. If we were talking that there was a 7 and now it's 8, I would say if you're looking to bet the over, you've lost any. It's not a good bet at this point, right? It's simply not a good bet if you have a full point. A half point, all right, we can maybe talk about a little something, but going from 7 to 8, I would find some other ways to attack it. Maybe ISO in on a team total if you still want to be betting that over.
Grand Salami is holding strong at 137.5. Anybody in the chat?
Doesn't it always feel too freaking high? Like in baseball, I'm always just like, that feels too high. And then that'll be, we talked about with our man Eric in the chat. He was talking about, Phillies are due for a sweep. Well, the Phillies offense that I thought we would see in game 1 was what we ended up seeing in game 2. And then they lose, I think it was 10-3. So consistency, thy name has not been Philadelphia. Let's just put it that way.
Truth. We got some free plays coming up. We'll go over weather. Looks like only major weather looks to be in Chicago. 64 chance of rain, 13-mile-an-hour wind. That is at 7:40 Eastern time. A little bit of weather I did see in Detroit. Showers and thunderstorms will likely lead to a delay. So be careful with the Royals at the Tigers. So let's see. You're not a fan of. I don't do money line parlays in the daily sports.
Yeah. So for these daily sports, don't get me wrong. I love me a parlay, and I also think there has been a major crusade, yes, to get people to bet parlays, but get people to bet parlays the wrong way. I personally think a 3-team money line favorite parlay in MLB, it's something that doesn't hit my repertoire. You know what I mean? I'm all for money line parlays. When you make it make sense, it's good true odds that you end up getting. But just with these daily sports, just like you saw in that Phillies game, oh my God, they scored 1 billion runs. And then the next day against a worse pitcher, they score 3. So that's where I caution a little bit of throwing those big money line parlays together. So Nazar Prez, I wasn't yucking your yum. Don't worry. You can money line parlay all you want. But maybe I would tread lightly in some of these daily sports is the way that I would attack it.
I don't even think you can do the thing where if there's 3 big favorites and the series starts on the same day, I don't even think you can do them all 3 days or 4 days.
That's fair. I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like that, because that's one way you can do it. It's like, okay, if you look at team's offense in a series, you take their team total over in the first, the second, and the third game, and you're hoping to go 2-1. Maybe you get lucky and you go 3-0. That way, if you lose the first one, you say, well, I was coming right back to it. But yeah, I just don't think the lines are there. So, but we love parlays. We've made a lot of units parlaying tennis doubles this year.
Yeah,
So
and that's the thing
parlays
for
work.
me is like you are not barking up the wrong tree with Andy and I here. Like, talk parlay to me. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. It's simply something that I don't like doing in MLB. Early on in my betting days, yeah, I was throwing 3 teams, 4 teams together, and it just decimated my bankroll. So yeah. When Yanni's on the show tomorrow, you want to hear somebody who is anti-parlay. That man will set you straight. Although he does have the caveat, Andy, if you found something that works for you, you keep beating them books, man.
Well, that's the thing. The parlays work in the more obscure sports because those lines are not dialed in. That's just, those are just facts. You find a market that is exploitable, then you're going to get softer lines. So, yeah, I mean, here we'll do some free plays after this, but yeah, those are your 2 games with potential weather. Let's go to some of the streaks. Let's start with the totals. I've been seeing. I'm guessing are the Nationals going to pop up here? Because the Nationals, 7-3.
They are 7-3.
Yeah, I figured they'd be more just because their bats are playing well, but their pitching's pretty awful. So looks like the longest streaks on the overs are the Braves and the Angels. Do we have any 5-0? We don't have any 5-0 streaks. Don't have any over or unders on the 5-0 streaks. Royals and Mets, they're a little bit on an under streak. And let's go take a look at the run lines. Who's update for the Diamondbacks? 14-4 for the year. Incredible. Who's on some short-term streaks? We do have the Padres. Yeah, the Padres are on a 5-0. I believe last 10 they're 9-1. Yeah, so Padres and Diamondbacks, your run line, just they're monsters. And I do believe the Brewers and the Yankees, 2 teams that I would not expect to be 0-5 on an 0-5 run in run lines. Those are 2 teams I think I might be interested in betting on the run line with them because those lineups should be able to cover run lines. So
completely agree.
So, all right, that's your baseball update. Let's do some free plays here. Let's go all around the world and let's just do the squarest play on the board alert. It's the Mets under 2.5 on the team total. Like, it's so obvious that I don't want to play it. And I guess I would just caution everybody to be really careful about this play. I'll go through the stats with the Mets. Yes, Dan.
Well, Andy, too, like, this is the bottom, right? How often are you going to see a Mets team with a team total sitting at 2.5? And I get it, Shohei is on the mound, but he's not likely going to do a complete game, So am I going to bet the other side? No. There is no part of what I want to play on the Mets. You know what I mean? Especially if you're talking offensively. I found a way to attack them using their pitching. That was a way to attack them yesterday. However, this is the bottom. I don't think we're going to see Mets under 1.5 team totals anytime soon. So, and folks, this is not a first 5 wager. This is what, right? This is their game total, which
it's a full total.
This cannot continue. This aggression will not stand.
Well, they did score a run, which was 1 more than the previous 2 games. So they're on the
100% more runs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like they've scored 1-0-0. They had that 6-run explosion against the Athletics, but they lost that one 11-6. And then before that, 0-1-2. It's really, really tough for the Mets. But like you said, these are professional athletes. They will eventually fall into 3 or 4 runs. So I would be careful with the squares play on the board today. So that being said, if they get shut out, nobody is surprised. Nobody. So. Yeah, we'll go through a couple more here. The RBC Heritage Golf Tournament starts early tomorrow morning. Jake Knapp continues to be underpriced in these markets. You can get him top 20, including ties at plus 110. Myself, Dan, and Jan recorded the golf show. It's called The Cut Line. We recorded that yesterday. It is up. We talked more in depth about all of these golfers, but Jake Knapp is the second best in total strokes gained in this field. He has more top 20 finishes this year than Scotty Scheffler does, which is an amazing stat. This guy's really, really good. He's one of the best on tour. You probably wouldn't recognize him unless you watch golf, but they just don't show very many shots of him. He's never in the featured group, so he just doesn't get any publicity, so people don't bet on him. So I would look at him to be in the top 20. So, Dan, I can give out a parlay piece real quick. So we had a tennis doubles play, and it was a parlay, and one of the legs got canceled because of a change in opponent. So I can go over the other parlay leg if you need it. Starts at 5 a.m. tomorrow. You go to ATP doubles in Barcelona. I'm going to butcher these names. I'm sorry. Krajicek and Mektic to win 2-0 against this Rincon and Batalla. I've never heard of these guys. They play on lower levels. Mektic and his partner are top 50 players. They play together all the time. These guys don't play together a lot. This is an experience, chemistry, talent, like everything is in the favor. You can take them to win 2-0. It's like minus 380. So if you're looking for a parlay piece, that would be one that you could look at. So, all right, before we get out of here, Dan, we're going to be running a couple specials at WagerTalk, and one of them involves you. We're going to do a flash special for 30 days of lacrosse for only $69. Dan is having one of the dream seasons I have ever seen of any sport. I mean, the numbers are truly staggering here. Johnny Detroit sent him over here. Do you see him? Do you see him in front of you? Because they're.
Let's see.
Right.
Let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up.
All right, I
don't track 50, my plays. No, I'm just kidding.
Dan is 26-9. That's 74%. 45.1% ROI. 45.1%. Not bad. Not bad.
It's not bad.
So we got a 4% lacrosse play. That is up now. You could go to wt.buzz/AL. All of our plays are all in one place. So, but if you just want to finish out the season with Dan, or at least get 30 days, you can see what Dan's lacrosse plays are all about. So that is over there.
Andy, for what it's worth, I love this deal. So 69 for 30 days, and what you're going to get in that time. College lacrosse is just nearing the end of its season, but then they get into conference play. So we get a lot of these games played for the second time around. So you're going to get, some of these teams, like a game that we might be in play this weekend will determine who's going to be the regular season winner of the Big Ten. There's a bunch of action that you're going to get, but also locking in for 30 days. Andy, I mentioned to you that the PLL season, they're actually going to start a little bit earlier. So the first weekend of May, you're going to get to see what PLL is all about, which is the professional league. It's a league that I work in close concert with. So, I have a lot of great vibes around this league. So not only are you going to get college through the end, and college is really where we've killed it. Like you said, 26-9, 45% ROI. If you had a financial advisor that came up to you and told you, hey, I can get you 45% ROI in a couple months span, you would sign up yesterday. So you're going to get that college lacrosse that we've been seeing really well. Knock on wood, we're going to continue to hopefully do our job. But you're also at the tail end of that access. You're going to get any PLL futures that we have. You're going to get a vibe for how do we bet PLL. And that also includes player props, which is something that Andy and I's team just absolutely love. So you're getting college. It's been our bread and butter this season, Andy, but you're also going to be getting PLL futures. You're going to be getting PLL action that starts off the first weekend of May.
If you're looking for all access, it just worked out great. We have a 5% golf bet that is up. I put that with a 4% tennis play and a 4% NBA play. So just now we've got our 4% tennis, 2% golf, 5%, 5% golf, 4% NBA for tonight. By the way, thank you very much to everyone that followed me on $5 Tuesday. We get there in the end with Jaime Jaquez. He got over his point total. Took overtime, Dan, but sometimes you need those breaks. When Bam got hurt, it actually hurt us because he had to play like part of Bam's role where he was running the baseline and playing defense, so he wasn't an offensive option. So, so we got all those plays. And don't forget, PFL starts tomorrow. I'll talk PFL tomorrow. Lines just came out. We will have those, and we have a very bettable UFC card. So we'll be breaking down all that stuff tomorrow. Actually, I can go over UFC real quick for you guys. So This is a Canadian card. They give the Canadian fighters quite a few layups, and you got to decipher which one's going to kill you. Which Canadian is going to lose? There's some really good favorites. I'm going to go to the main event. I'm going to go that Mike Malott is going to get upset by Gilbert Burns. I don't trust Mike Malott in the slightest. His last 3 wins are very questionable. He kicked the guy in the balls twice in the last fight, and the guy finished the fight like clearly hurt. So he wins that. Gilbert Burns is coming off like 4 straight losses, except they're all to either current or former title holders. So he's fought like the cream of the crop. I just feel like minus 310. You're playing with fire in that one. So that's going to be my nominee. As far as some other lines, there's a guy, Mandel Nalo, is minus 170. You guys may not have heard of him. He's a Canadian fighter coming off a Contender Series. He wasn't very good in Bellator. He's kind of reinvented himself, and he looked great on Contender Series. I think he beats Jai Herbert. Jasmine Jasudavicius is going to be one of the most popular parlay pieces, and I will just tell you I'm not including her in a parlay because this year in MMA, the most popular parlay piece loses. So I'm just staying off of that one as well. So, and then you've got Robert Valentin at minus 142. It's now or never for Robert Valentin. He's lost all of his UFC fights, but I don't think he's that bad. And this guy he's fighting, I think, is a complete tomato can. So, yeah, so we're still running the 3 days, and you get 3 free specials. So that would be a great way to take advantage of the next 6 days. You're going to get all of those plays included, all the 4%, 5% plays, and we're in play tonight for another NBA play. So yesterday, really, really good day. 3% MLB winner, 2% MLB loser. Then we come back with the 4% NBA winner and the tennis play as well. So. All right. Thanks very much, guys. Please hit the like button, leave a comment below, and tomorrow we'll see if we can give away a 3-day pass going into Friday when we do Sell Me. Oh, man. We get playoff edition for Sell Me.
How am I going to find an ugly-ass game?
Oh, we have to do real breakdowns for Sell Me on Friday. We get 2 good.
This is bullshit. That's it. I'm doing Belarusian handball for Sell Me this week. This is ridiculous.
So, Rob, appreciate that. I'll give a quick plug for Cutline, informative, entertaining, one of my favorites. Yes, that's our golf show. Really, really appreciate that, Rob. Appreciate it. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us. Shout out to Jesse. Positive vibes to him and his arm, and the dog and the motorbike. We hope
whatever was included, whether it was a motorbike dog or a dog motorbike, whatever happened, Jesse, feel better, bud.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. A lot of big plays. We'll get you started for the weekend starting on Thursday. Good luck on your plays. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care.